There are tech companies that are going to benefit from the coming in of COVID. Many more people are going to use tech platforms. We need to adapt.
I'm here to speak with Mr. Dumisani Mkube, the CEO and founder of DLN Entrepreneurship Institute, DLN Construction, and DLN Technologies. He is known by many as a radical entrepreneur, a businessman, and an individual that likes to build human capacity. We're going to find out from him how COVID-19 has affected his businesses, as well as the contribution that technology can make towards the reduction of the spread of COVID-19. Mr. Dumisani, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure.
In regards to technology and COVID-19, what would you say will be who would you say will be the most affected by COVID-19?
Well, certainly everyone will be affected. Everyone will be affected. Be it big businesses, small businesses, tech businesses, and those that are not in tech. So basically everyone will be affected by this. But when it comes to tech, interestingly, there are those that are going to win and others will certainly lose. Those that are going to win, it might interest you to note that many more people are going to use tech platforms to communicate, and people will be having meetings on tech platforms. Banks will be introducing tech platforms, and the number of, in fact, they may have had already these platforms set out, but maybe now they might, consumers might then begin utilizing them more.
And then with the fact that supply is going to reduce since the demand has heightened, how would you say customers need to ensure that everything that they lay their hands on is products that they can trust? Okay,
certainly in terms of a demand, demand is drastically going to reduce because what you are facing now is what is known as a demand-driven recession. People do not have, the funds to spend on a number of issues. So then that brings about the challenge. And so in terms of consumption as well, people might reduce on the consumption of tech gadgets, tech products. So that might affect that. It might interest you to note as well that you see in our country, like in our setup, Zambia, we depend so much on importing products. Now, the countries that produce these products at the moment are actually undergoing lockdowns and all that. So that makes it a bit difficult.
So if I hear you correctly, the fact that COVID-19 has happened right now means that people have no choice but to move towards the tech side.
Certainly.
But even if they don't have a lot of choices in terms of communication, they still might not be able to access those facilities that would ensure that they can actually communicate with other people via tech-inspired gadgets. Okay,
so now here's a two-way thing. There are tech companies that are going to benefit from the coming in of COVID. Then there are those that are going to lose out. So if you look at the two, those that are likely to lose out weigh in more than those that are likely to gain. Now, who are they that are going to gain? We can talk of Zoom as an example. The shares just skyrocketed because everyone is going to be having meetings on Zoom. Skype, similar arrangement. But you realize that there are certain other tech companies that help in terms of, smart card printers, smart card production, ATM cards production. All those tech companies have a serious nosedive in terms of, making returns. We need to adapt. We need to move. Take, for instance, institutions of learning should then move to e-learning. Meetings can now be held, online, and companies should then, consider having people work remotely.
Well, would you say that Zambians, as Zambian companies and customers, would you say they are ready for such a shift?
We are not so keen to take on, new challenges, and that is why you would find cases where bus ticketing on online bus ticketing has lamentably failed in Zambia because the consumptive rate is quite low, or maybe the uptake rate is quite low. But interestingly now, we might find a number of our people inevitably having to uptake because they have been forced to. But with the serious uptake of tech, especially for those novices, the challenge that might be there is it might give a serious rise to fraudsters, people being duped and whatnot. So I think that is the downside that might be there. So in terms of the fight, I would say communication, that's one. And we have seen a serious rise in people using tech platforms to communicate. So that is the first thing. Secondly, I think it has helped in terms of social distancing. People no longer have to meet in order for them to transact. And this has all been necessitated by tech. So I believe tech is actually at the center to some extent in terms of fighting COVID-19.
Mr. Dumisani, I think this has been a very fruitful and also knowledgeable conversation. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the viewers in relation to COVID-19 as well as technology?
Okay, great. Stay safe and wash your hands as it has been advised, and just make sure that you observe social distancing and know that there is life after COVID-19, and make sure that you are amongst those that will be alive then.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
My pleasure.
I just spoke to Mr. Dumisani, an entrepreneur and an individual well vested in technology, construction and entrepreneurship. He gave examples of ways in which the business sector in Zambia can help themselves as human beings and also as businesses to stay afloat in this current economic crisis.